Hi, today we are going to see about Angular lifecycle hooks. So basically we have 8 of them. The first one is constructor obviously, and then the second one is the ng on changes, ng on init, ng do check. Then these two will be in one group, ng after content init, ng after content checked, and these two will be in one group, ng after view init, ng after view checked. The last one is ng on destroy. Coming to the implementation, so basically let's say there's an export class name implements whatever the lifecycle hooks are there. We have to say implement, and then we have to give a method of ng on init, ng on changes and all that stuff, and we have to just define whatever we have gone. Coming to the description, ng on changes, it's basically it receives a simple change. It receives an object of the current and the previous properties, and it compares. That's where it ng on changes are. If your component has again no input or use it without providing an input, it will not even call the ng on changes. Timing is it's called before the ng on init. So this is where the ng on init is. It's called before ng on init. Okay, next, ng on init. It's basically initializing a component or directive. It's called after ng on changes. So let's say ng on changes doesn't have an input. It might be called or might not be called, but ng on it is definitely called. ng on it still called even when the ng on changes is not there. Okay. The next one is ng do check. It defines as custom change detection in this document. If there's any changes or anything happening, so this is where it checks. The next one is ng after content init. The keyword is init, so it responds after Angular projects and external content into the components view. So initialization of the content view. Next is we have to check it, so that's where ng after content checked. So the keyword is checked, so it checks whatever the content project has been there in the directive component. So the previous one is init and the next one is checked. It's obviously called after ng after content init and after every subsequent ng do check. In the next video we will see what is the difference between ng after content init and ng content checked. The next one is the same as ng after view init. It's like the ng after content init. It's similarly ng after view init, that is content and that is view. So that's where over here if you see it's all content is initialized now. Over here it's all view is initialized now. Okay. The next is obviously is ng after view checked. Before it was ng after content checked, now it is ng after view checked. So it just checks if the view has been imported or the content if view has been there in the directive or not. Okay, it just checks the component view and the child views. It's called after every view init and after every subsequent after content checked. The last one is ng on destroy. It kind of destroys or unsubscribe. It basically it cleans up just before the Angular destroys the directive or component, and or else it unsubscribes or detaches event handlers to avoid memory leaks. Okay, thanks.